I'm ready. Start the machine. How did I
So when I started thinking about how I have to make music and I have to do it,
Holy shit. I'm gonna be mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you think I'm being mean to Tom, but do you listen to this asshole? Do you hear this guy? Did you just not hear him play the most dog shit fucking vocal line and then go, I have to make music. It's in me. I believe colloquially, when we talk about the rock doc, we're referring to a specific sort of era of music documentary. There was a time when MTV, when VH1, when these were the pinnacle of music information, and when you would see all the juicy little behind the scenes details of your favorite artist. It used to be a theatrical experience, right? It used to be that they would make a movie, a documentary movie. Literally had to be like the biggest band to ever exist. You had to literally be the Beatles. A Hard Day's Night is a semi-acted out, semi-sarcastic parody look at the Beatles. And you have Mr. Elvis Presley doing not just movies, not just like movies where he's playing characters as Elvis, movies in which he's putting on performances and you learn a little bit about Elvis. Of course, they're never really going into like full details of who these people are. And over the years, that has evolved. There has been some very pinnacle works of art done in the documentary realm. I mostly enjoy documentaries on genres. I like learning about jazz or swing or like just music of a different time period. There sort of was a resurgence though in the early 2000s. DVDs became not just a standard, but an incentive to purchase the CD itself, where some CDs had a DVD documentary package within it. Typically, they would be labeled as deluxe edition, special edition, and typically it would be like a supplemental bonus disc, or it might be a completely different experience on its own, i.e. Life on the Murder Scene from My Chemical Romance. If you know anything about me, if you know anything about me, then you know I love examining nostalgia, specifically my own nostalgia. And there is nothing in this world that I cared about more than Tom DeLonge's career. So my surprise, when I went to go see them, I believe it was a tour in which they were playing with Weezer. It was Angels and Airwaves and Weezer. Angels and Airwaves stage performance, I will talk about this later, but Angels and Airwaves stage performance literally meant that they needed a whole an hour to set up before they played. They had flags, they had a pyrotechnic, they had little the stages on top of the stage for them to then step onto to be on an even higher elevated plane above the audience. All of these things made a very spiritual, a downright almost religious experience to me as a child. In my filthy little atheist mind, this was the closest to church that I think I like going to, and I would see them religiously. There was a time when Angels and Airwaves was the one band I had seen live more than anyone else on the planet. That's just how the the cookie crumbled. If Angels and Airwaves was coming to town, you can bet your sweet ass that I was in the audience.
Even some of the guys nowadays love to have a hot actor in the film. You know, it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. But specifically at that Weezer concert, they were selling DVDs. And these, I looked dead in the merch guy's eye and I said, give me one of those DVDs. I gotta know about this band. I gotta get more intimate with these boys that brought me so much music. The music that saved my life. Of course, on the inside, you know me. Gotta go through the supplemental materials. Hold on. Coming all the way from 2006. These papers I'm holding right now, this behind me, this is 20 years old. We're looking 20 years into the past to discover why. Why did I like this? What effect did it have? What were they going for 20 years ago when I was this but a 13-year-old child? What did I get from it? What did I learn? What do we know? What understanding do we have about Angels and Airwaves, and why the did Blink break up? Why did Blink break up? These are the questions that kept me up at night. These are the questions that kept me shaking into the dead of night. So first off, we got the Mod Life. Yo, Mod Life. For exclusive access to Angels and Airwaves, visit the Mod Life site at modlife.com. Angels and Airwaves. Live mod cam video transmissions from the band. Whoa. Transmissions, secret transmissions. Interact with Ava. This is just, you're creating forums. Behind the scenes video, blogs, and updates from the band. I'm sure they kept up with this deep into their careers. Exclusive short films, live performances, and music videos. Are there music videos on here that I have not seen? How exclusive is this content? Don't get me wrong, I was a big Angels and Airwaves head, but I have limited access to the family computer, and therefore I could not explore Mod Life. Plus, exclusive meet and greets at Ava shows, member-only access, pre-sale tickets, exclusive remixes, photo albums, and up-to-the-minute news. So much Angels and Airwaves news, I can hardly contain it. No one can contain how much news is dropping from Mod Life. I'm sure you noticed the Macbeth advertisement at the bottom. Well, don't you worry, because we got a whole separate Macbeth postcard with David on the front, I believe. David Kennedy on the front. On the back, you see we have some incredibly unique designs. It says 76 right there, and it has a logo. Pretty sick, pretty sick. Oh, a 3. Oh my God. I wasted it. You think this is so good? Think this is so good? This is a 3-day trial to Mod Life. It is blacked out, but there is an expiration. This code expires midnight PST, August 31st, 2008. Who knows? These are questions I can never know. All right, enough preamble. Let's start the show. Tom DeLonge, eat your heart out. I'm ready to learn, buddy. Baby boy, let's get to it. Oh, commentary off. I don't need to hear the commentary. Maybe for my second watch, I'll listen to it with the commentary. Tom DeLonge talk about how awesome his own documentary is. What's the fuck? What is the commentary? It's Tom making commentary over him talking. Okay, maybe I have to watch this. Wait, how do I explain Angels and Airwaves for people that don't know? There's a band called Blink-182, and Blink-182 was one of the biggest pop punk bands at the time. They wrote simple, semi-ironic songs about girls, song about pretty much girls, either breaking up or getting with girls, maybe throw in some gay jokes in there, masturbation jokes. God damn it. It looks like I stopped recording for a second because there's a weird little noise in my microphone, and then I forgot to press record again, so we're going to do this again. This time, with feeling. Blink-182 was a pop punk band, right? They're at the top of the world in the year 2000. They had their song All the Small Things, followed by What's My Age Again. Adam's song Enema of the State was like the start of the height of their careers, right? And they were kind of like Green Day. They were a 3-piece. They didn't write songs that were as clever, as well written, or with any of the musical talent Green Day has, nor did they really have the respect in the SoCal punk straight edge scene that Green Day had. So Blink-182 always sat in like kind of a weird place, but they garnered and gained a huge following with high schoolers at the time. In 2005, you would be hard-pressed to find a high schooler that did not enjoy at least one Blink-182 song, if not their entire catalog. Literally making your hair like them, playing your guitar like them. I felt like people would change their personality to literally be in line with how they joke. For some reason, a really weird fascination with having sexual relationships with dogs. Something that I don't think Tom has ever really clarified on. When they broke up, it left a giant hole in everyone's heart. But Tom had to answer with Angels and Airwaves, since that was a project that came right at the end of that Blink era and gave just enough hope with the adventure as a song to hopefully hold and tie people over until Angels and Airwaves were able to come back as a full project. And there was something interesting about seeing Angels and Airwaves. There's something interesting in how they market themselves, how they represent themselves, how they speak about love and empathy and the world and people and humanity. It's a very spiritual experience without ever being directly religious coded. So I guess what I'm curious about going into this is how much of that is Tom's doing? How much of it is a conscious effort on Tom to market himself to be a figure that is looked at as the scene's proverbial like Jesus, the one to save humanity? This music will literally save your life. And if it doesn't, it might save the world. We could go to space. We could colonize, but like in a way that isn't shitty, but also capitalism is cool. Buy my merch. So we got this DVD at a Weezer concert. I'm excited to hear from the horse's mouth, to hear how he speaks about the Blink-182 breakup. Mark isn't here to give his testimonial, so it is purely on Tom himself. And it's like, who the fuck is this guy?
Your mother has a sickness.
Exactly, John. Who is this guy? Anyway, I'm gonna start the machine now. Let's start it. Space imagery is abundant. He made a whole fucking movie about love, and there were astronauts, and they were on the International Space Station, and it's like isolation, I think, is a theme. Oh, we're getting a little bit of it here. What is it? Space.
I'll be honest,
I bet you were expecting to see the band you liked. No, we gotta set a mood here first. This is high, cerebral, intellectual. We're talking about concepts and philosophy. Have you ever felt like you're alone? Hold on. You asked me a question, let me answer it. Do I ever feel like I'm alone? Oh, buddy, you betcha. Okay, next question. Already, you got me. Already, you pinned me down to a fucking T. You, my girl, you look like a lonely girl. Might I present you our music? Okay, relationships. What if? What if you truly were? So we're seeing images of soldier. I almost said shoulder boy. Boy with shoulders. We're watching Soldier Boy, and Soldier Boy is going to the space station, and Tom's like, what's the most... Dude, fucking space. Space is like the most alone you can be, dude. There's like, what's up there? What's even up in space, man? Like you're a soldier in the war for love, and you gotta fight for love. Because when you're alone, when you're isolated, no one's fighting for love. You gotta find it within yourself. You gotta pull it out. I'm absorbing, but also motorcycles. They tied it back to the Civil War. It's like all war. All war is a war for love. I don't know. I don't know if Tom knows history. I do not know what Tom knows of history. What is this? What are we saying? Is this an advertisement? Is this a montage? Is this a music video? What are we doing here? Is this a preview for... Hold on. I need to consult with the Blu-Rays real quick and see if I have an Empire DVD. Give me a second. Okay, so I'm over here at the DVD collection, and I'm looking. I found my Start the Machine disc. That's there. I have that. I know that. No, I don't really see an Empire disc. Interesting. All right, so maybe they didn't make that Empire. Hold on. Hold the fucking phone. What movies have Angels and Airwaves even made?
Angels and Airwaves made several movies, such as the science fiction drama Love from 2011,
the documentary Start the Machine from 2008, and the animated short Poet Anderson, The Dreamwalker from 2014.
Always announce in movies, you know? So they announce I Empire, the motion picture, but I remember the actual movie they made being called Love, which I confirmed it was. So this is weird. Why are you advertising things? Is this a Kickstarter? Why are we advertising things that we're not gonna do? I don't know if I understand. It's such a weird contradiction that lives within Tom that he basically wants to spread love, hope, and humanity to everyone. And yet he does this through like soldiers in a war. Just the concept of angels and airwaves, like they're the angels in the airwaves. It's slightly biblical, but it's not really religious. It's such a weird mixture. That's how they're being advertised. That's not necessarily how they talk about themselves. So where's the horse? I hear the mouth. I want to hear from the mouth of a horsey mouth. Get this out of here. Get this out of here. I'm sure it is. I'm sure we're gonna see it any day now. Just like their next movie, Strange Times. Strange Times indeed. What is this? Mod life. Living my modiest mod life. I'm slightly confused by this because like when a record starts, when you play a record, when you take this stylus right here, on top of this guy and you pick it up and you throw it on top of the record, it usually spins in like a spiral, and then the needle, once the record is done, once the record is finished, the needle is now in the middle of the record, like kind of oscillating until you pick it up. What does this signify? What does this say? This says the record is about to begin. Your life is about to begin. We are starting the machine here. The machine is space capitalism. It's empire. What is an empire? Of whom? Who gets loved, Tom? Tom, who are the people deserving of love? Will we get answers for this? I do not know. Is it supposed to be vague on purpose so anyone and everyone can connect to it? Starting to get that feeling. I'm starting to get that feeling. Play the fucking track. Oh, it's over. We're done. You thought we were going to listen to music during this? Oh, okay. At the time, this was really retro and cool and vintage. Is that a 10-inch? Is that not even a full 12-incher? Is that a 7-inch? I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by this shit already. This fucking hipster. Everything has to be pageantry. Everything is freaking pageantry for him. Did Mod Life, are they just distributing it? What is Mod Life? The, like, pizza chain, the Subway sandwich pizza chain that you walk in and you're like, hey, put some fucking jalapenos on that shit for just like the Angels and Airwaves music. I find this shit a little tedious. Why are we on a plane? Where are we going? Where are we coming from? We can see Tom. Are we gonna see Tom? We got Tom. We got our first sighting of Mr. DeLon. This is Mr. DeLon in his serious face. He's not a child. He's not a rapscallion in a pop punk band anymore. He is a man contemplating.
Look out, world! 2 cougars on the prowl.
People are a little nervous. Oh no, why are people so nervous to be on a plane? 2 windows for Tom, and I say he deserves those. That's how much he's observing about the world and the earth that we're in. He needs 2 windows to observe everything that life has to offer. What is he contemplating? What is in his head? That's what I love. He's such an enigmatic genius that like could be thinking about anything. Stop, Tom, stop. No. Ooh. He wants to be a filmmaker so badly. I like Blade Runner. Don't get me wrong. I like Blade Runner. I like the shot of the eye as much as anyone. What does that have to do with the airplane, Tom? He's on an airplane. That's how you travel. If he could travel intergalactically, he would, but he's going to have to settle for an international flight for now. Where are you going? What do you know, Tom? Where are we going, buddy? Why am I traveling into your little hazel ball over here? Why is this necessary? Shut the fuck up. God damn it. So we start out on a plane, right? There's people anxious. They're apprehensive to be on a plane 7 years after 9/11. That's pretty brave, I would say. So we're on this commercial flight, right? We go into Tom's eye. And you know what's in Tom's brain? You know the synapses firing in his fucking head? You know what they see? They see images of war. He sees unrest. He sees people going hungry, hurting, starving, dying every fucking day. Motherfuckers are dropping dead in the goddamn street. The 2008 financial crisis. You know what, Tom? He's thinking about war. But what he's thinking about war specifically, it would appear, is World War II. Specifically when the U.S. sees, those don't even look like U.S. planes, but specifically when someone dropped paratroopers over France, over England, I don't know, land, we'll see. Dude, CGI is so goofy at this time because it wasn't like real looking, but you could do a lot of really heavy visual effects inside of a computer, so people would rely on it, but they would make it stylized. So we have movies like Robert Rodriguez's Sin City, which utilizes a comic booky black and white styling to tell its story, to sort of represent the comic book it's based off of. A lesser successful version of this experiment would be a little movie called Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow, a film that was supposed to be a throwback to like 1950s war films that had such a glowy fake sheen to it that I personally don't remember being able to pay attention to anything happening in the theater, but I was very young. I was very, very young. Roger Ebert gave it a 4 out of... I don't believe this. Hold on. Sky Captain is ingenious. Idealized sci-fi adventure is even more fun than it sounds like. In its heedless energy and joy, it reminded me of how I felt the first time I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's like a film that escaped from the imagination directly onto the screen without having to pass through reality along the way. Miss that guy. Roger Ebert, even if I disagree with his movie opinions, he was a hell of a writer. Anyway, what was I saying? I was saying that visual effects weren't realistic at this point, but they were evolved enough where you could do a stylized vision for whatever visuals you're trying to represent. And so that led to a lot of shit like this. Why would they be diving past the paratroopers? The paratroopers don't jump out of fighter jets. I don't even like war. War? What is it good for is what I say. I don't even care about this shit, but I know enough to be mad at this. Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, so we have soldiers jumping from planes and what I'm assuming is supposed to be D-Day. Doing it day is what we called it here in America. And that is being contrasted with men in business suits floating up to heaven. White men put some steak on that in business suits with umbrellas. And I'm like, sure, it's cool imagery. Sure, Tom, make the umbrella guy your fucking collectible. It's called the Poet. The Poet. Look this ugly little fucker right there. These guys were sold in a mystery box, and you would have to pay money, the umbrella guy, which kind of looks like the precursor to the Funko Pop, but you would pay for this little guy. You would open it up and different colors were to represent the rarity of it. They were like $15 on their own. Probably even more than that. They're probably like $20 on their own. And it feels weird. It feels like this is all either a scam or a scheme, or like Tom is just throwing darts and he's like, God damn it, something has to be merchandisable. In Blink-182, we had the logo. People love the logo. People got tattoos of the logo. The little smiley face with the arrows coming out of the head. That is iconic. How can I do that again? But maximize it with the shoes, with the clothing, with the brand. Everything needs to be instantly recognizable as a product of me. When it comes to Atticus, when it comes to Macbeth, and when it comes to the actual art itself, it all must be set up to be commodifiable. But like thematically, I don't know what we're seeing. Parachutes? He let David Kennedy's name come before his own. Why would he do that? Tom, I am suspicious. Is he a co-owner of Macbeth? Was he like, yo, put me in your band, dude. I'll play guitar. Tom, we got a pretty good thing going over here with Macbeth, making shoes, $100 fucking track jackets. We're doing great things over here, but what if I play guitar for you, buddy? Have they poached the bases from 30 Seconds to Mars yet? Oh my god, this looks like shit. The fuck? But it's not a music video. It's supposed to be like telling a story. They're chess pieces. The high level ideas going on here. So the soldiers and the businessmen, they're either opposites or they are like synthesis. They are either opposing forces or they are the same. Like, does freedom in the corporate world fight each other? But at the same time, he's saying, I empire. If I have my own world, I would build you an empire. And they're like chess pieces. They're like chess pieces on a board. Are the soldiers the chess pieces on the board because of these men, in spite of these men, to fight these men? These are questions that I personally appreciate that Tom can spark so much conversation even within myself, that it has me going like, what is happening? It has me going,
Dan, dismantle the titty corner and set up a poker table.
That was a good one. That was a good poll. I think it's very clear to point out in their music how manipulative it is. Where are they storming? What is this campaign? It looks like Normandy, but they didn't have tanks or brick buildings. Okay, so corporate guys are in space. They're chess pieces for the soul of Earth. What was that quote that Biden used to say? We're fighting for the soul, the soul of the spirit of the people, and the people they gotta love in them, and they got a soul, and they fight, and they're people, and there are Americans that are saying shit like,
my tits stand up like the American flag.
President Joseph rotted in Biden. I approve this. I don't know what the guy said. Is this almost over? Tom, why did it take 8 minutes for me to hear you open your mouth? Why did it take 8 minutes in this documentary for me to get to your dumb face, Tom?
2005, 2006.
I can't hear you, Tom.
There's no room for anything other than 10 times bigger and better than anything I've ever done.
That's an interesting perspective that he's going in, is I have to go bigger. How do I expand my personality and my reach with music? And I think that shit has to happen organically, Tom. I don't think you can make something with the expectation that it's going to be big, that people are going to care. Did enough people do? Do enough people do? Did Angels and Airwaves really break into the mainstream consciousness the same way that Blink-182 did? Like, literally due to their nature of having 5-minute, 7-minute songs, made it inaccessible to the radio, which is why on their second album they had Everything's Magic, which is like a 3-minute standard song that's like placed in the beginning of the album amongst the 7-minute, 10-minute, like huge operatic, sweeping musical paintings that he's trying to do. But it makes it inaccessible for the radio for those songs to be played in the music videos because there's only like a half hour to an hour of playtime on the TV stations. So I guess like where my question's coming from is like, is it ego? I guess that's the number one question to ask.
I'm ready. Start the machine. How did I let
And so when I started thinking about how I have to make music and I have to do it,
Holy shit. I'm gonna be mean. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you think I'm being mean to Tom, but do you listen to this asshole? Do you hear this guy? Did you just not hear him play the most dog shit fucking vocal line and then go, I have to make music. It's in me.
better than anything I've ever done.
relax your eyes? I'm ready.
Does the editor hate Tom? Who edited this thing? That was such a funny transition. Like, yeah, no, we just gotta make the biggest record that we've ever made, and we gotta change hearts, and we gotta I know I'm not making fucking masterpieces over here on my Studio One. It's so funny to see the mysticism, the propping up, the performance. It's so funny to see all this just like get peeled away to show raw Tom.
This is our new band name, fuckers. Angels and Airwaves.
That's a V. Tom, that's a V. I know Ava is his daughter. Leave me alone.
Writing songs is kind of my thing.
Hell yeah.
Please God help me.
There's no other option but just to make it.
Okay, the editor needs to calm down. These transitions, the effects, the filters, killing me. It's hurting me. It burns us. It hurts us. Just make it regular. If they're saying interesting stuff, then you don't have to do all this bullshit on top of it. Just like play what the they said.
But now that this is my life and now that this is the future, now that this is all I'm going to be doing.
This is my life. I'm dedicating everything to this band. I'm neglecting my wife, my children. I don't give a fuck. This band is my life. Why is he in a tool shed? Why the hell is Adam in a tool shed?
When I put my studio together in my house, I knew there's certain things I needed.
This is our isolated sound booth.
Being trapped on his own property with Tom DeLonge while we make a record together. At one point, it sounded like everything in the world that I could ever want to just be this creative titan with one of my favorite songwriters. But I have a feeling that there's a little bit of control that Tom is seeking to gain in the creative process that I feel might perchance take away from my abilities to perform and give input and like write things that I feel are compelling and interesting.
And we were able to record a couple guitar amps at a time, bass guitar or guitar amps. And then I needed a whole bunch of guitars and I got the guitars.
I've seen guitars, dude. I'm like here and I'm like, the one thing I need is guitars.
Now with
Do you guys hear the squeaking of my chair?
entirely at the Foo Fighters Studio 606.
Is that annoying? Is that upsetting? It annoys me, that's for sure. I'm glad that Adam's having fun. Playing in the Foo Fighters studio, that's special. Good for him. That's special for him.
It sounds like gladiators. Doesn't it sound like we're gladiators walking into the Coliseum?
Tom, you're a gladiator. You're like a warrior, dude. You're like Fall Out Boy in that Century music video. He's like, remember me for centuries, dude. I'm Tom DeLonge. I write art that's gonna transcend time. It's gonna transcend time itself.
What's the absolute best thing? I'm just trying to figure out, because if I was in the audience and I was hearing this, it better go somewhere fucking awesome.
It's interesting hearing him talk about music, hearing the actual creative process. It seems to me like he has a good finger to be like, okay, that doesn't sound right. And he's been in enough studios to know like the type of thing that gets asked of him. Like, oh, hey, this intro's like, imagine, dude, Tom, imagine like you're the audience and you have this build up and then it just goes to like, what's the verse here? And you can see like Tom internalizing that and then trying to use it like from a producer's position, but it just sounds so like, I don't want to say unintelligent, but it's unintelligible to the point that it's just so generic. If I'm at a restaurant and I'm being brought a dish and I'm like eating the food, I'm like, this needs a little, this needs like some fucking tomatoes in it or something. Like, but he's not even going that specific. He's not saying what he needs. He's just like, this is good. This needs to be like bigger, brighter. Like, just, like there's just gotta be something good there. There's something like not good there. And I want something good there. Would I rather listen to something bad or would I rather listen to something good? Maybe we should record something good here. And I'm gonna work on that. He has competent people behind him, but hearing him talk about his process, it's so like vibe based. He makes his amp sound cool with different pedals and he gets his setup so he's like, oh, I'm feeling this, I'm playing this is incredible. But if you strip all the effects away and you just look at the parts he's playing, you just look at like the composition of the music that he's making, and fundamentally I feel like it fails to like live up to the complexity in which he feels like he's imbuing every single part of it, when really he's just very effectively utilizing effects. I hate to say it, but U2 did okay job. That U2 did that. U2 was a band that my generation didn't really listen to because they were boring as fuck. But then Angels and Airwaves came along and I'm like, I'll eat that shit right up. It's like U2, but dumber without the politics. Simpler. I like that. Yo, that's the Adventure. He's writing the Adventure.
Tom has a very good idea of what he wants to hear as a finished product, and whether or not he can present that to us.
Perfect. That told me everything I needed to know. Tom has a very specific idea to how the song needs to sound. So there's a bunch of people at Tom's house, at Tom's studio, on Tom's dollar, probably for the most part, trying to satisfy a man who has free reign to make whatever he wants. And what he's making is this esoteric, bassy, grand, operatic, soaring guitar parts. And now they have to figure out, like, how the fuck I drum to this? Like, the band's job is to fulfill Tom's vision, apparently.
Before he even knows what he's going to say or what key the song's going to be in, he's got a melody in his head, and he'll try to sing it for us with just using vowel sounds.
Most of the time, he doesn't even bother to write lyrics to it. We just say, Tom, your lyrics aren't really doing much for us. You should probably just stay with the E-A-I-O-Os.
Fuck, it's gonna be rad. I'm gonna think of some really good words tomorrow.
It's a fun process. It's fun to watch him get his point across.
We go, life's waiting to begin.
Ugh, little flat there, Tom. Oh, he's seen like in his throat and then up into his mouth. So there's like a tinning, sort of flattening, like he's his own compressor, limiting the amount of noise that he can physically make. It's like he's really handicapping himself while he's singing. It's bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Some kid broke into my email and stole half the record and leaked it.
This kid figured out, I guess, his email address and his password and everything got in there. So they guessed the password.
What was your password, Tom? This seems like a cover-up. This seems like maybe they probably leaked it because the whole band is like, oh yeah, we gotta talk about it. Yeah. They've been talking about very different things separately in all these rooms, and this one they're like, oh yeah, the files were stolen, so I figured out Tom's password.
That's how our first single was decided, was Adventure. We weren't even going to go that way. We were going to go with another song, and it really worked out.
What's the other song? Why can't you name it? So mad. We're so mad. We're so, god damn it. How could our music get out there? Who stole our song and then got it on the radio? Who did this? You guys chose a single for us. We weren't gonna go with it, but you forced my hand since you took the time to be a super hacker and broke into Tom DeLonge's email. I guess you can have it. I guess we'll make a music video. You know, I was pretty mad about it. I was pretty pissed. I was pretty angry. I was pretty, Now that I look back at it, I'm like, good choice. We were gonna go with a different song that we didn't make a music video for and we didn't make any singles for, and we were gonna release it as a single because, like, we all know the album is just full of fucking, like, quick, fast, heavy bangers. Each one would be perfect for radio play, but the kids wanted the adventure. The kids, they said the adventure speaks to me here, but it also speaks to me here. Oh, there he is. There he is. Here's a live performance. Are we going to get a song? Teasing me over here. There is sort of a weird fascist undertone with how they're presented as a band, with the uniform, with the flags, the patriotism, trying to create like their own lore, their own mysticism, trying to find a place to go. The only thing that Angels and Airwaves doesn't really do is they don't name an enemy. They don't really go that far. It's like he wants the imagery, the adornishment. He wants everything that comes with being a fascist dictator, but they're not gonna, like, you know, they're not like shitty people about it. I don't know. I don't know what being exposed to this at a young age did to my brain. I'm trying to deconstruct it, okay? This is me constructing my religion. Do you feel the audience? The audience is seeing this. And I'm like, how much of this are you guys actually playing? Does their music still have an effect on me?
Blink work, the magic of it was that there's 3 totally different...
Oh, blink, blink, blink.
We weren't 16 years old anymore, and we're approaching 30, and we all have families, we all had different needs and priorities.
Still singing about the same shit. Approaching 30, singing about the same shit. Let's get that straight.
So I needed to be home with my daughter. She was approaching 2 years old, and I haven't been home for any of the pregnancy, and then any of her first year and a half. We were touring.
Right. Tom was like, I'm a father. You don't get it. Travis, Mark, you guys aren't fathers. Travis Barker, you definitely don't have a TV show which features your family heavily. Tom, I don't know about you guys. Touring is a lot of fun, but me personally, I gotta get back to my daughter. Haven't met her yet. Would love to hear who she is.
We Don't Need to Whisper was like a rebirth of myself.
A rebirthing. He has his own Jesus imagery. He's being reborn in Angels and Airwaves, reborn as the proverbial singer with the answers and the look and the thoughts and the emotions and whatnot.
I guess you just have a lot of people in your mix telling you different things, and ever since we did Boxcar Racer, things weren't the same between me and Mark anyways. That's just one of those weird things where I had to go and try and grow as a musician. And
it's so funny that he's like, I just had to grow. I just had to, like, Blink was just so limiting, man. We were making music, yeah, but, like, my heart wasn't in it. I needed to grow as a musician. And that means being angsty. That means being, like, angsty in one of the most uneven, awkwardly paced albums that I ever enjoyed growing up. Boxcar Racer is Tom at his whiniest, and it's just funny how that project is just like a pissy little teenager of a record, that this is a catalyst that broke up Tom. And Travis is caught in the middle. Travis is like, oh, I don't know, Tom just asked me to play drums in his band. I don't know. But why would Mark think that this experiment is a dig against him? How did that start? What was the tension? Was Tom like, it, I'll do my own thing, and that was like a rumor? I'm feeling like they weren't talking to each other, and they're talking to people in their orbit, and the people in their orbit were like, no, Tom, you're the star. Tom, you're the one that people want to be like. You have the emotions. You can be dark. Tom, why don't you make your own stuff, dude? You don't need Mark. Try it. It's an experiment. Could I really make it without Mark? And when that project didn't go anywhere after 2 years, He went crawling back to Mark, and Mark was like, fuck you, dude. I don't want to make music with you anymore. You fucking asshole piece of shit. Put my life on hold. Like, oh, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna see my family. I haven't seen my family in so long. I'm gonna honor them by doing a completely different project personally.
And ended up being
His banes are so funny.
Think if someone does something that's not completely communicated, it can have bad effects.
So Tom, I guess my question is, if it's poorly communicated, do you want to take ownership for that? Do you want to take responsibility for the part you played in how it was communicated? Or are you just like, yeah, when people react to shit that's like not really communicated, it's like that can create tension. Whoa, no shit. Tension in the goddamn band, dude. That's fucked up. Why would you want to bring that? Bring that into my house, you son of a bitch.
Me putting my family first. If I was to make that my priority.
You should put America first. Tom, if maybe you put America before your family, you wouldn't be in this situation. He says as he's driving through his $1 million suburban cul-de-sac, he says as he drives up to his fucking mansion on top of a fucking Hollywood hill overlooking a valley, he says as he drives his private studio to make music. I do not weep for Tom. I do not weep for Blink.
It was like the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was like
You can tell this is a serious moment because we can't see his lips moving. We're focused on his eyes because the eyes are the window to the brain. Your brain's behind your eyes, so if you look through that, this is why we went this is why we went into Tom's eyes in the very beginning of this experience, because we need to see into his brain, into his soul to understand him. He's a complex man.
It was fucking gnarly. Craziest, like, just the craziest of emotions and things said, and like just anger and fear and all these crazy things came out. But
do they fight? Do they like yell at each other? It's like, yeah, you know, there's like anger and there's things said, and like people got stabbed that shouldn't have got stabbed, and the fucking cop arrested like everybody, and you know, it was just anger. It was like frustration. Yeah, I know. The last venture didn't work out. These new tokens, they're gonna be our ticket, bro. The new company that I started, I know my last company filed for bankruptcy. I know we had to fire everyone, do a rug pull, and then leave the country to avoid being prosecuted. But my new tech startup is gonna be it. We're gonna have the best coins, NFTs, and commercial. Believe me, dude, you want to get in on this shit. So as a special offer, I'm giving you 5 free tokens to start your day. 5 free Mod Life tokens, dude. Join the Mod Life, bro.
Then all this shit happened, so I'm sitting here with like the best material I've ever done, and I said, fuck.
Tom's over here and he's like, Mark, these songs that I've written here, these are the best songs of our career. You can't give up on me now. You can't give up the dream and the band just because I did a little project for 2 years of my life without you. God, these songs, you want me walking away with my goddamn journal here? You're missing out, bro. Shit. I'm gonna have to record these on my own. Mark, you're gonna miss out on so many. Mark, come on. Don't you want to sing I-E-A-E-I-O? Come on, Mark. Join my project. Oh, fuck. Too late. Dude, you missed the train. Don't come begging to me, Markiplier. When your project fails, you're all alone. You're depressed. You hate your life. And you're like, I used to be a musician. I used to tour stadiums. And now I'm fucking nobody. Look at me. Don't come crying back to me. I have no handouts to give. But I do want you crying to me. So please come beg for me to rejoin. Give it 4 years. We'll restart Blink right up.
He wanted to do other things or he needed to move on. And we started talking again heavily about like getting together and trying to play some music again.
Is that David Kennedy without the hair? Almost didn't recognize him. Tom made him grow out his bangs to be in his little scene band. That would have been a deal breaker for me. I would have been like, Tom, no, I'm a grown up.
It feels good to like, as opposed to like saying how good it's gonna be, actually listening and realizing like how good it's gonna be.
Okay, I see it. He's Tom's hype man. Tom brought Kennedy in so that he could have someone just on his side. He calls my number, I'm gonna pick up. I wanna hear it. I wanna hear what his role is. To pamper up Tom, to
David
fluff
Kennedy.
him.
Because that's dope, because this is like a dissonant kind of style thing, and all of a sudden it goes into this major. It's a minor chord progression thing.
Fluffer. He's a fluffer. He's just like, whoa, Tom, dude, did you like, is this a major chord? Minor. Whoa, okay. Hell yeah, dude. That fucking play that again. You call that a power chord? That's called a power. I feel it. Oh my God, Tom, that's so cool. You're so talented. Tom, you're so talented and smart and handsome. I don't know why Mark left you. Honestly, I think Mark was jealous. Plus 44, I heard it. Poopy, dude. Fucking poopy. Not for me. You, though? Angels and Airwaves? This is goddamn fucking Angels and Airwaves, bro. You know what that means? That means we're changing the world here. That's what that means. But also, there's a slight contradiction because Tom was like, Mark, you can't quit the band. You can't stop this now because I have so many good songs. These songs are so solid. I'm just going to have to go record them myself. I'm going to have to go and make the music myself. Kennedy comes in and he's like, yeah, we didn't really have like songs. We didn't have like a lot. They were kind of rough, but like, I mean, they were there. And like, I'm like, hell yeah, Tom, let's do it, dude. Let's get her done.
He has a really good ear for knowing when stuff is where it's supposed to be.
I think Adam is probably the most technically advanced musician here, and I think he's probably worked with real professional bands. That he is really stretching himself here to save his own paycheck. They criticize Tom without really feeling like they're criticizing him. They're just kind of talking about him, about his style. It's like,
the boss, he's tough. He's tough but fair. He's tough but fair. Yeah, you gotta get on his good side. Yeah.
It's a whole different emotion. To go into this new thing with this fucking raw sounding ugly drums.
Imagine the segue that gets you to that too. It'd be sick because it'd be all like a totally.
I just said that.
he's the guy. David is the guy to come in and talk to Tom. They use David as a vessel. I can't criticize Tom. Don't make Tom feel bad. For the love of God, he will not come out of his room if you put him down. He's been playing the riff to Adam's song. Locked himself in his room and he's been playing the riff to Adam's song all night and day. We can't get him out. My guitar's on tune into E's. I can't play the riff. I wanted to play the riff to make it like a funny little gag, but I can't, so this is the best I can do. Let me try to do it. Oh. I feel like how Tom actually sounds. God damn it. It's tricky. Trickiest blink riff I've ever played. They're calling him the whitest man to ever dance on a stage. It gets worse when he's not playing guitar, because then he doesn't have something to focus on. Then he can just like, eccentricisms. And I say this is a good place to stop for now. I still got like a good 40 minutes left of this, and I gotta go to work. So I'll see you soon. In no time at all. It's gonna be like instant, but it'll be like a day for me. So it's a lot of Tom to take in all at once, but if we split it up into 2 sections, I think we can handle it. So I will see you next time when it comes to me sitting here talking about this video. See you in a second. And we're back. So I've been thinking, it's been like a day since I started this, and I guess you don't really notice how things are actually the color green until you're looking at a green screen and they're like, oh, where'd I go? But it goes with the theming, because everything's blue. When you're Tom DeLonge and you're living in a tough world, everything is a little blue.
My tits stand up like the American flag.
But I've been thinking, and this video is really hitting weird, and I'm trying to get in the headspace of 2006. Let's see. I know this is such a fun piecing of a video, but Start the Machine is a documentary that chronicles the genesis. They take themselves so seriously. And I think this is the funniest part. This is what I'm trying to wrap my head around. It's like, what is Tom's goals? What are we trying to achieve here? Is it legitimacy? Does he feel like he's capable of more music? Did they write the self-titled album and then go,
fuck, I think I have talent.
Fuck Tom, dude. You're like a genius, bro. I Miss You. The writing in I Miss You is like the greatest shit you ever wrote, dude. Not now on the fucking greatest hits album. Oh my. And Tom, you're being brought down. You're being brought down by Mark, by the structure. You're trying to make better music, more touching, more introspective music. Even though I would argue that Mark's writing handles complex emotions and the nuances in those complex emotions a little better. But I do understand how he could get an ego. How after doing Boxcar Racer, after doing the process of the self-titled album, that Tom at this point may feel like he has enough talent and merit on his own to warrant making another project. And that's fine. You're allowed to make another band. Even my favorite band project, Every Time I Die, has disbanded. I talk about this all the time. But, you know, there's two bands now. There's Better Lovers and there's Many Eyes, and both have merit. And I've gone on to appreciate both projects as being up to the standard that I would have for Every Time I Die album. Except for that first Many Eyes album, but we're past it now, okay? So I don't have a problem with an artist doing something different. I also don't have a problem with him coming back to Blink-182 after all of this happens and they make another album. Neighborhoods, I don't think Neighborhoods is bad. I resisted listening to it for a long time because I wanted him to solely focus on Angels and Airwaves, but I'm glad that they eventually came back to make more Blink-182 material. I'm just confused about the headspace Tom is in, and I'm a little worried that it may be fueling his ego. And I'm like, is Angels and Airwaves really a band to have an ego? God damn it, I just want to make serious music. You know who makes serious music? Do you know who makes serious music? That motherfucking U2. And I, Tom, would also like to be a little bit of U2. Me too. I say U2. Me too. The genesis of rock band Angels and Airwaves. Why would you pick this up if you didn't know who Angels and Airwaves was? Why would you be like, I just want to learn about this band. I'm curious. I'm curious what the is going on. I want to learn about who these guys are. The film introduces you to the members of the band, not the lineup they would stay with, but it's, you know, the members of the band at the time of the recording into their private studio. I'm sorry, who owns? I'm sorry, the ducks swim on the lake, but Tom DeLonge owns the lake in their private studio as they wrote and recorded their first album. We don't need to whisper, because he's yelling. Like, guys, we don't need to whisper. We're humans and we're loud. We get a little rowdy. We get a little loudy. Just gonna have to deal with that, bro. Start the Machine. I'm taking this very seriously. Hold on. Let me show. I'll put on some reading glasses so you know I'm serious. Start the Machine also showcases all it epic. They call their live performances epic. I just think that's That's funny. Going to see Angels and Airwaves perform is equivalent to like sitting through Dune Part 1 and Part 2 in a marathon in an IMAX theater. That's kind of how it feels. Also showcases epic Angels and Airwaves live performances of The Adventure, The War, The Gift, and more. Oh! It also addresses the breakup of frontman Tom DeLonge's former band Blink-182. I honestly feel like they should have advertised this based on that, but he doesn't really talk about it that much. That's the thing. You're like, oh, there's juiciness in here. I'm going to get a little bit insight into Mr. Thomas DeLonge, but the actual content of him talking about the Blink breakup is incredibly one-sided and very short, very brief. I mean, driving and, just stick that camera. Yeah, so like when Blink broke up, I mean, I'm like, I was just trying to do another project over here. I was just trying to make music with the boys. And I guess there's only 3 of us, so 2 of us would be a majority of the band in that project. So it really feels like we just excluded you, Mark. And I have no remorse. I have no regrets. It also addresses the breakup of frontman Tom DeLonge's former band Blink-182, period, its effect on him and his music, period, the backlash from his boastful statements in the press, and his addiction to prescription pain medication. Whoa, I have something to look forward to. Okay, I saw the rebirth, and we were watching The Gift. We heard about David's contributions, and that's because David is Tom's #1 boy. He's Tom's #1 friend, #1 fan, and he is a loyal servant in the Angels and Airwaves army. I'm gonna skip the song, the live song. I'm not here to judge their music. If I was, it would be a glowing review. Hold on, I'm not ready. Okay, now we can go. Now you can go. Now you can play.
It's like a month or 2 into it, and I remember calling up Rick, our manager, saying, you know what, I need a producer. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to handle this. And I was scared shitless of producing.
Did he just think he was going to do it all by himself? He's like, I want total control. I want the freedom to make my record. And I can do it myself. DIY, because I'm a genius. I can figure it out. I do DIY music because I have no friends. I mean, I do not have any contact to do it for, and I don't have money, and I don't want to send my music to someone and and they be like, I send my music off and I'm like, hey, can you produce this for me? Can you clean it up, make it sound good, professional even? And then they just reply like, sorry, there is no saving this. You should probably just like not try anymore. And I don't like that feeling. I like doing it myself and then going, yeah, I made a song. I made a song, so I'm good. I'm happy with it. Time to move on to the next one. And this isn't to say that I think my music is better or more pure than Tom DeLonge and Angels and Airwaves and Blink-182. I just think it's funny how he was like, well, I can buy a studio. I can put Pro Tools in my house, but this computer stuff is confused. Honestly, this computer stuff, it's doing me. Holy shit, that's so funny. This computer stuff is so confusing. I just don't understand it. But what I do have is money, so I'm gonna have to pay. I'm gonna pay for a producer, pay for an engineer, then I will finally have my vision realized.
If that was gonna be the one thing that fucked up the record, that would have been it, you know?
And he wanted to put it on someone else. He was like, I can't fuck up the record, but if I pay someone and people hate it, then I can be like, bro, why'd you fuck up my record, you know? I do find the actual Angels and Airwaves songs incredibly simplistic. I think I like Today. I think it's good. It's something I can't wrap my head around. Nice sentiment, but kind of simplistic one.
Will there actually be real drums at some point in there?
Yeah, absolutely.
Will there be real drum? Hey, you're gonna get like a drummer, right? You like these? You think these are good? Yeah, tell me they're good. Tell me they're good. Tell me I'm doing good. Give me praise. I'm gonna run. You keep listening to this. I'm gonna run. I got a child. They need my attention apparently. Sometimes I'm just gonna force them. I'm just gonna put them down, put them to sleep, and then it's music time, baby. You're gonna put drums in here eventually, right? Okay. This is gonna be like a real song, right? This isn't everything. Okay, good. It's literally the first thing that comes. Okay. Here's my confusion. Here's why, like, I'm like, think they're bullshitting a little bit about Tom's abilities. Tom knows the melodies. He has the melodies in his head. He communicates in vowels, and he will, like, do as a placement holder, da 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 da, to just get the idea of the melody, which is fine. That's how you get music across. Bam, 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 bam. Bum, 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 bum. Like, that's understandable. I can transfer that into a guitar riff. But he's also like, that's the song. That's what he puts in the song. Does placement holders, I-E-A-E-I-O's, and then never writes anything more. That's just like what he has. He goes, that's so good that we have to make that work. And if I write anything on top of it, it's gonna distract from that moment. And everyone else is just trying to feed into Tom because he's paying for it. It's his studio, it's his house, it's his name on the project, and they're trying to appease this man to a certain extent. He is an employer, except to David Kennedy, which David Kennedy seems to genuinely be a friend or a hype man or someone that is more intimately involved into Tom than a producer would be, or it seems he has a relationship with Adam or the bassist. Who the cares what the original bassist's name is? Is the bassist from 30 Seconds to Mars, his name is Matt, who is the guy that played in both 30 Seconds to Mars and Angels and Airwaves on bass?
The 30 Seconds to Mars wiki. Random. Matt Walter is
Matthew Walter, quote unquote, Matt. I'm glad I was not wrong. There is no egg on my face, for I put in my mouth, and that egg is now my belly. No egg on my face, but egg in my belly. Eggies in my baggies. What are we doing? We're artists. We're painting.
And the band has a lot of ideas about how things should go and how things should sound. And
Adam is the most revealing one out of this group because he's playing it so diplomatically. He's using every single musician, band, political strategy that he has to appease and keep his job. He is probably the most talented individual in the band and the most proficient part of the band, though I do highly disagree with how much reverb they put on his drum set. I want those drums, those percussions to be right in my chest. I don't want them in the room towering over me, beating me into submission until I finally say I-E-I-O, I-E-I-O. I'm listening to what he says very closely because I do think he is telling the most truth, but he's doing it in the most like coded way possible. And I'm all about reading between the lines. I have an incredible reading level. I can read at the highest levels, at the advanced level, on normal difficulty, on story difficulty. I can even read on nightmare difficulty. And when I'm done reading, I open that book back up and I read on New Game Plus. I can read all these motherfuckers. All these boys I read like a dirty little filthy magazine that I found in the bushes at a soccer game that is so waterlogged that I can't turn the pages, but I can vaguely see a boob through the cracks.
Hold on to me.
every shot of his raw vocals makes this entire DVD perfect.
Comes from him first, you know, like, and that's the, he's...
Yeah, Lives and Dies by Tome. Tome is the almighty maker. This is his studio, his house, quite literally his house. Tome is hosting us. Tome is God. Tome is God. In Tome, I trust. If I was wrong, if Tome is doing me wrong, then I will jump on my sword. And I will say, I'm sorry, Tome. Tome, I did my best. But I am sorry. Because this is such a fun series. I shit you not when I say I have so many of these documentaries. I'm collecting them like Pokemon cards, and I would love to watch them with you, the audience. If that is something you are interested in, I do think it might be fun. So if you made it this far and you have not yet, please like this video and then comment below and let me know, is there a band, do you have one of these DVDs that you think are worth covering? Do you know of one I should be on the lookout for when I'm out hunting the Goodwills, hunting the Value Villages for all rock docs that may appear? Honestly, my videos might be the only archive of them. Where else can you find this shit online? No one's uploading these to the internet.
When you're in charge of it, it's really up to you, you know, how good do you want to be? You know, and how good do you want to make this thing?
You hear how he's setting himself up to be like almost a victim of Blink-182? Like, my immaturity, who I was in the band, that's because I was trying to fit an image of what the producers wanted, the studio wanted, an image of what my label wanted, but that's not like who I am. He's trying to paint a picture of how he didn't have creative control. His career in the past couple years have been dictated by the producers, by the studio, by the engineer, and even by his music label telling him who to be and how to play. Maybe even he felt that way by Mark, and there was like a lot in him that said, I want more control. I don't want to play these same songs. And maybe Mark and Travis have like a very distinct idea of what a Blink-182 record is. And if you look at the non-Tom DeLonge albums with Matt Skiba, those don't become Alkaline Trio albums. Those don't feel like Alkaline Trio is meshing with Blink-182. It feels like kind of a new amalgamation of what Blink-182 is, but it feels so essentially core to that band as a whole, with the immaturity and the subject matter of the songs being about young love and being young and being a kid, and like life is tough. Life is tough. What is this flap on his jacket? Do you see this shit over here? Is this his own jacket? This has to be his own brand, dude. Look at him. No one wears this shit. Why are there pockets on the shoulders? Who needs shoulder pockets? Now, I am not one to judge a man for his clothes. I'm just gonna raise a question. Who needs shoulder pockets? Who in this world, in this goddamn world, needs shoulder pockets?
So every time I learned something great in the studio, now I know how to do that trick, you know? Or every time I made a mistake, I said, okay, I won't do that anymore. That's why I like producing, because I know what I want, I know how to go, and I know how to get there now.
It's kind of sad that it did take him 20 years in his career to get to that point where he's like, oh, that's how music is made. Like, no one showed him how a tape deck worked. What was he doing in the studio before? I'm just confused. He's like, oh, wow, I didn't know that I could press the buttons on the computer.
Sometimes, you know, when no one's in the studio, I go in and I touch the knobs and I learn. I go, oh.
It's like that scene in X-Men Apocalypse when he puts his hand to the TV and he's like, I'm learning of the world.
This process is so different because I think Tom was very dead set on doing things different and not wanting to be locked into any one thing.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be locked into any one thing. That's why he made such a specific sound that just been repeating and echoing on every Angels album since. There's nowhere this band can't go except for the same places that we're going again and again and again and again.
Airwaves, we write in the computer, we lay, you know, some sounds down, beats.
Who mixes? I think on another level, the editor is really trying to just destroy this documentary. They're drowning out Tom with the drums in the background. And I'm here for it. I'm here for the circus.
things and twisting and turning them. Sometimes they take left turns, sometimes they go exactly where you hope they would go.
I can't hear you, Tom. I can't hear you.
It's a unique process because I don't think a lot of people would want to work like that because everything is in such a state of flux.
Why are they only showing pictures of Tom in the studio? Tom is a hard worker. Tom is a leader. Tom is a songwriter. Tom is a producer. Tom is an engineer. Tom does the keyboards. Tom plays with the dogs. Sitting in my studio with money on my lap. Hey, money all around me and I can't make crap. Hey. I love how serious they take him, like he died. Like this album changed lives. Like this album came out and there was Angels and Airwaves mania. Like their shows are transcendent experiences. And I think this is like the mysticism that I find so confusing about this band is why are they bringing such an aura of importance to a record that is 90% guitar effects and then 10% crowd chants. Like, like, all right, this is a first step. This is a first step. Their next albums are going to be bigger and more complicated with the sci-fi elements. It's going to feel like a Codeheed and Cambria album, like a book, a sci-fi novel. If Tom's actually doing that or if he's just saying they're doing that, feels almost like a teaser at the end of a movie, at the end of like a mediocre movie like Madam Web. And then at the end of Madam Web they tease a second movie where they get to wear their costumes and you're like, that's not gonna happen. If you ever got to make a sequel that you're not gonna fulfill that promise.
I wanna piss in your mouth because it makes me hard. Have you guys heard that song? Wanna be fucking naked with you. Wanna be fucking naked with you.
Honestly, I think all these joke songs that they're playing are probably better than what made it onto the album. But if it's love is love because love is love. It's like, Tom, you're describing in a more childish way, so people that aren't sexually active, children, can feel the romance and the vibes that you're giving off. And this seems more genuine and true to whoever the hell Tom actually is. But he's the same, okay? He's the same. He can still make dick jokes, he can still make piss jokes, but he's serious in the music. The music is serious, he's still a jack-off.
I'm too indecisive and ADD to fucking complete anything. I'm looking at houses today. I've only lived here for 3 months.
I was looking at houses today. I've only lived here for 3 months. Tom, I don't think that's ADD. I think you just have too much money with no direction to spend it on. And you're like, I'm gonna spend it on a record. I'm a musician. You can't finish anything. I think follow through is a quality that not everyone possesses.
I know we're fucking high. And I know there's a camera right there, and I'm acting like it's not there, but
2005, weed is not legal. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's privilege.
I have like 3 categories in my brain. One is songs, I have arrangements. One is fucking great choruses, and one thing's like great verses, and one's like guitar riffs.
He's saying all of this like it is some big process. And he's like, this is Tom, how do you write songs? What is your writing process, Tom? Get me into your head. And he's like, okay, yeah. I have like a slot machine in my brain. And in that slot machine, there's like categories. And one's choruses, one's verses, one's guitar riffs, one's melodies. And then I just pull that lever and I let them spin, and wherever they line up, I'll change the key, I'll change the tempo, and I'll just I'll try it out. Tom, that's just a writing process. I'll write like a line that I'll try to shove in 5 different songs. It won't work. And then finally, I'll be writing another song that just needs a line, and I can't think of a line. Then I'm like, wait, there's a line that I wrote in here that can actually help me here. Song isn't working. Let me try it faster. Let me try it slower. Let me tune up a step and see if that changes the vibe of it. He is quite literally just talking about like the engineering process, but he's acting like it's his brain. Like there's something solely unique about Tom's brain that allows him to do this process of memory recall when it comes to songs he's partially semi kind of just written in his head. He woke up and he's like, everything's magic. Oh, that's good. Everything is magic. Tom, how do you do this? How do you do this? This is so revealing. This is so much more revealing than I ever thought it would be.
Categories line up, and I go, that's a song. How's that analogy?
How's that? How's that, dude? Did he hire someone to just follow him around with the camera? Oh, I know that one. I know this one.
No.
The question is, do you know what I was thinking?
No.
I had no desire to ever tell you what I was thinking.
Tom is describing his process, but it really feels like he had all these half-assed songs, half-made songs, and he literally just needed to bring a band in to be like, hey, is this working? Does this sound good? Can you give me something? Can you help me tie this together? I can't finish this shit. I think there's something to be said about creating art in a space where it's like you're doing it out of the obligation to make art, to continue your career, to continue putting out material, but you don't really have like a core drive or a genuine thing to ground yourself. I know my worst album, if I look at everything I made, my least favorite material is one that I made out of obligation because I felt like I need to put music out now. I need to re-record these songs. I need to put them out, and it is sloppy and it sounds awful, and I hate that album. But the albums that I write that I feel really proud about are the ones that do have a very clear and distinct, like, this is what I'm angry at. This is what I want to say, what I want to convey. These are all the emotions that I'm personally feeling in my life that I think people will connect to. And I want to capture that in musical form to have other people be receptive of it. And those ones, I think, whenever I don't know how to finish it, I just remember like the core and like what the most truth to the core that I'm trying to present here.
In a universe that is infinite, there's infinite possibility.
This is really boring though. We've kind of just gotten to a part where we're just seeing random clips of Tom kind of writing songs, kind of like joking, kind of trying to be a fucking genius. I think we're talking about aliens now. Great footage. Incredible footage, guys. Guys, really seeing new layers.
Freaked out a little bit, you know, I was listening, I was like, a little bit of an anxiety attack. I do have those moments at 2 in the morning where I wonder what I'm doing. Yesterday was a fucking bum out day. Got a little cocky.
Look how happy that dog is. Goddamn, dude. Goddamn, what a good girl. What a good girl. I would not let Tom around dogs given how he speaks about them. What is this? What is this? What is happening? What is going on now? They're just playing the adventure and we're going through space. Are we going to see a music video now? I'm gonna mute it so I don't get copyright strike. I just don't know what's going on. We're going through like a wormhole. Is this Doctor Who? Is this Doctor freaking... Oh, we're back. I'm sorry. God damn it.
I remember sitting there at this round table with like all the head people, Interscope Records, and I just said, I want to change how music is made. I want to change how music is marketed. I want to change how music is delivered, and I'm gonna do it. I didn't know what the fuck I was gonna do to do all those things.
You're telling me there's a meeting where Tom was sitting around with all the executives. He hasn't produced anything. He hasn't really done anything on his own. He just like makes songs and then tours and then they do like funny music videos and then he makes jokes about like, you know, f***ing your dad on stage and you're like, oh, Tom, that's classic Tom there. And then he's at Interscope Records and he's like, guys, I'm gonna change music. I'm gonna change how it's recorded by not having it in a studio. I'm gonna and I think this is like the clearest difference between like Tom and Green Day, between Blink and Green Day, is Green Day literally grew up in the punk West Coast DIY straight edge scene. And the music came second to the community and the vibes and the vibes. Where Blink is dudes who wrote music in their garage, hit it big, and then just continued just like going up. The way that Tom talks about the creative process, the way Tom's like, yeah, I'm gonna change music. I'm gonna change how it's marketed. I'm gonna change how we record it. I'm gonna change how like music even sounds, how you like perceive music. I'm gonna make it so you can smell music. And like, I don't even know how I'm gonna do that. Smell the album as it's playing, and like I should have probably had an idea of what changing music meant before I said, I'm gonna change music. I'm just gonna change music. Music is gonna be different because Tom DeLonge, I have songs that I wanna record. No one else has done this. Think you're the guy?
It wasn't too long after that I actually said that Jesus wrote the songs on Whisper, but I didn't mean that. I meant Jesus came down to buy the record.
What? Tom said Jesus wrote the songs? I guess when, like, I said he felt like a preacher, when I said he felt like he was co-opting religious sentiment and religious feeling to prop himself up as, like, a Christ-like figure, I did not think he meant literally like Christ. I am dumbfounded. Quite frankly, I don't know what to say to that. That's kind of...
We had a lot of... questionable press. Wasn't necessarily bad, but it was kind of, maybe some things were stated.
Hold on. Hello, everybody. This is a first for me. It's a little cut off. This is a first for me. I couldn't wait any longer. I have a new band. It's Angels and Airwaves, and it is the most amazing music I have ever made by a long shot. I didn't want Blink to go on hiatus, but it had to. You all will learn why soon. That sounds like scorched earth. I can't read the cutoff. I'm 2 songs away from finishing the best album anyone has heard in 20 years. It's really weird that they just like brush past this entire post. This is wild. In a couple of weeks, you will hear about the new band as well as a movie that is being made. But no matter what is said or talked about, no matter what rumors, it is the best music made in decades. Not the best music that he's made, not music that he's like proud of. This is the best music made in decades. He's very Trumpian. I did not realize that Tom was such like a, I'm incredible, I'm amazing. Like that's kind of the arrogant feeling that I got from him. I quite literally didn't know that he said shit like this. This feels almost like a joke of what Thomas DeLonge's ego would be like. It is so much more powerful, emotional, and melodical, I think, than anything Blink put together. I'm currently shitting my pants and your pants as well. All I can say is hold on and prepare. Tom, I love fans, and I promise I will make music that we grew up to cherish, but it will be better. Best fucking album anyone has heard in 20 years.
Revolution and be the biggest thing in the past 20 years and all this stuff.
A rock and roll revolution. Tom, rock is like the least popular genre of music now. You don't even make rock. What is rock, Tom? Tom, what is rock and roll?
Rock acts ever.
I know, it's the stupidest shit I've ever said.
I'm losing it. I'm dying. This is PR. Tom said some bullshit. He let his ego get ahead of him. Then he got humbled for it. And now everyone is having like family therapy to be like, Tom, you can't say that shit. And they're making a documentary to be like, whoa, Tom, you said some crazy shit. And he's like, yeah.
I know. I got a little carried away. I got a bit of an ego.
Like the second coming of Christ. I can't be real. That can't be real. You literally thought that people would think that fucking Jesus wrote this? God came down from the biblical heaven to write an album with Tom DeLonge? Is Jesus a co-writer on the first Angels and Airwaves album? Though it did bring up another post. Patrick Stump and others now a co-writer for Blink-182 because Tom can't be replaced adequately. I think you can adequately replace Tom. I'm dumbfounded. I am fucking dumbfounded. Looking at where Angels and Airwaves is 20 years after this shit has been said is crazy. This is mind-boggling. I am boggled up here.
All those gigantic, grandiose statements. I was just playing around, but I think I made some people angry probably because they don't want to hear that. But they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was to talk about it.
It's 5D chess. Listen, like, I don't actually think that stuff, except, like, you know, I'm actually smarter than that. Like, I don't think I'm a genius, but I think I'm smart enough to play the press and to play everyone as fools, because I have masterfully conducted a campaign to imbue the presses with rumors and quotes to put my band front and center. Because, like, Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 would have never generated any buzz for a new project if he didn't say this stuff. Who would care if they actually just make good music? No one cares about good music. It's all about press, baby. 5D chess over here from Thomas.
You know, yeah, like, dude, that's right. We're gonna be, but then I might say to Tom, like, hey man, maybe we could chill out a little bit. You know, maybe we don't have to say all that stuff.
He's Tom's, like, handler.
Because I have reasons for everything I do, whether or not people agree with them or not.
He's being so coy now. So, like, right after he said that shit, he's like, no, I really stepped in it, didn't I, guys? And then on the documentary later, he's like, it was a masterful ploy by me to play the publication.
If this was Blink, I would be, and this was Blink's music, no one would be questioning it.
He's using that as an excuse. Everyone told me that, like, Blink-182 was the greatest band in the world, and people were saying that I'm, like, the best musician. And now that I'm actually, like, confirming it, they're saying I'm not.
And I was just like, there's a lot of things wrong with me.
Why did you need an intervention for your ego? Is it true or is it your ego?
After 10 years of playing guitar, I broke a disc in my back and ruined another one.
That's from playing guitar? Maybe playing your guitar so you have to, like, bend your back to play it is just not a good thing to do.
It's sawing in half, like, the biggest nerve in my body, and it was the most pain you could ever imagine.
Yeah.
And they put me on all these crazy drugs to try and manage the pain, but it didn't work. So I had to elect to get the surgery, and it took another year to have the nerves heal. I'm still on the medications.
Is that why he plays his guitar up here now so he can stand straight?
I kind of just masked it with these.
Oh no, addiction. Addiction! It's not my ego. It's because I was on pills. But I was on those pills for a good reason, because of my back. And my back was so because of my guitar playing, because I'm that dedicated to the music.
Started just mixing like this, just really bad poison.
I'm starting to feel like this documentary is extremely curated by Tom to create the story of Angels and Airwaves, the mythology. And it's like, wow, Tom overcame so much. No one believed in him. No one believed in Tom. And he fought through the trenches. He clawed his way out of the mud to become the musician that saved the world, that changed minds and hearts, that fits the Israel-Palestine conflict. They saved countless of the African nations from warring, fits the southern border. Everything that Tom and his music has done, I say,
My tits stand up for, like, the American flag.
Stupid shit.
Talk
Fucked up, bro. Fuck, I'm so bummed.
That's part one.
At least there's part 2 coming out.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say.
Everyone else to say. But
I have nothing else. I'm fucking an asshole. I'm a fucking egotistical asshole.
now you are. Yeah.
Did I I say something I wasn't supposed to? Guys, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm a fucking asshole, dude. I'm like a loser, bro.
Bottom line is that I didn't say that shit that way, and I knew exactly what I was saying.
It's weird how, like, you're still giving them the quotes, though. Like, if you didn't say it that way, then where are the other quotes? Did they just edit you? They just wrote paragraph after paragraph of just out of context lies? It's weird how when you keep saying this type of shit, people don't think you're joking about it. It's so weird. But, like, I'm an asshole, guys. I'm sorry.
We move on from here. That's it.
I can't move on. I'm a fucking dork.
We don't like, if people keep on saying it, go,
So frustrating. He's doing this bullshit now where he's like, I need you to forgive me. Guys, you have to actually forgive me or else, like, I can't move on. I can't be a better person.
But you know what it is?
It's just that you're actually having fun with it, but the problem is...
See, Tom's having fun with it, but no one else understands the joke.
Records and music, it touches people in a different way than movies and TV shows. And
I agree with that. I've been saying that, David. But also, like, isn't that kind of evocative for Tom to be like,
no one in this room knows. No one in this room knows, like, how much this shit sucks. I'm excited about my band.
It's hard to feel sorry for him. I'm sorry. It's hard to find sympathy for Tom, but I will do my best.
I hate myself at this point.
No one hates yourself.
It wasn't received. Oh my God, he's such that when his ego wasn't received, what do you think? You think people would be like, we are nothing but hype for the promises that Tom's making. He's saying he's gonna fix the world, and I say give him a chance. Guys, you're not giving him a chance. Come on, the album hasn't even come out. Why are you judging them before the album's even come out? Just give Tom a chance. And then the second that people are like, Tom, that's kind of douchey to say shit like that. He's like, oh, come on. That's not how I meant it. You guys take it out of context, and you guys aren't listening to me. You guys don't even know my vision. And if this was Blink-182, you guys wouldn't even be saying it. But, like, also, I was joking, and I played you. I was joking. You guys took the bait. Oh, come on. I can't have fun with it. But also, I'm such a asshole, and I'm sorry, guys. I shouldn't have said that shit. But it was a joke. It was a joke. Was playing them. Fucking stupid.
No, it hasn't ended because the next article's coming out. Yeah, I was so fucking stressed and at my...
This feels like whenever my dad would have to admit that he's wrong, and then it becomes like a 3-day apology tour of him jumping up on a cross and being like, I'm so sorry. I really thought that I was correct. And I'm like, that's cool, asshole. I wish you could admit it the 90 other times that you're wrong, but this one was, like, unarguable.
I am absolutely out of my mind, and I can't control my fucking mouth.
I just can't control it. I just can't control my dirty little mouth. Someone should shut me up.
I cannot believe that's the fucking tagline on that shit.
Of course it is, because that's the only story right now.
But, like, how big is this new? Like, I was a huge Blink head. I was huge in Tom DeLonge. I was hyped for Angels and Airwaves. I pre-ordered the album on iTunes. I don't remember any of this. So Tom killing himself, whipping himself over this, and they're like, there's no other news right now. It's like, it's 2005. We're in the middle of a war. Like, 2005 is the second Bush term. It is not going great in America, so it is sort of weird that Tom is being so self-centered, and he's like, yeah, but they didn't write good about me. Has he been able to, like, sufficiently isolate himself from any sort of criticism or pushback that this is the first time people are kind of like, no, Tom, they take you serious. I promise, dude. Dude, no, they take you seriously, buddy.
What the fuck? You guys are fools if you thought this was true. And
this is so embarrassing. Also, stop with the close-ups. This isn't a fucking war film. Like, chill the out.
You know, for the first time in years, completely sober, looking back, because I finally just said fuck it and went through a week of the worst detox.
It was the pills? The pills made you say those things?
Days and days not eating or sleeping, fevers. It was the...
Damn, dude. You're like Jesus, bro. You came back from the dead, dude. Jesus was dead for 3 days. You spent a whole week detoxing? That's fucking... Damn, bro. Look how sober they are. They're so sober, they're playing ping pong.
Critter is our, he's kind of like our fifth member, really.
Okay, then we're talking about Critter.
Your ear almost thinks, is that like an electronic sound? What is that?
Damn, dude. Tom's so crazy. He's so good with guitar. You're like, no human could produce that. That has to be a synthesizer. And Tom's like, no, it's me. We're just going to go into the band members now. There's Tom. Matt. It took them an hour, but they finally mentioned Matt. And I say, we're all better for it.
If I can't apply that message to myself, then nobody in the world can take it and do something with it.
I just don't understand how he can think this highly about himself, but produce such mediocre music. And I'm saying this as someone who feels like Angels and Airwaves literally saved their lives. I, at one time, would have given my life to Tom. And I try to be Tom. I try to write like Tom, make songs like him. I try to have my guitar like him. I used to take 2 guitar straps and then beam them together so I can literally put my guitar as low as it could physically go. It's so fascinating to me how we could have this whole publicity cycle. Like, even before at Interscope, he's like, I'm gonna change music, I'm gonna change rock and roll. Then he went home, made a music studio in his house, started producing it, started recording music, couldn't finish it, hired musicians, got David in there to keep track of himself. All of this to try and like hold together an artist making an album that is very emotional, very sweeping, and very big, but ultimately very shallow and hollow with what it's saying. It's talking about that notions of war and like the gifts of life and how life is beautiful and how we should believe in ourselves and like go on the adventure, how like life is about the war of love and fighting for what you love and fighting those you love. When you grow up a little out of it, when you discover other music, don't feel that strong of a connection to it. And I think you really see on the latter albums, especially the double album with Love Part 1 and Part 2, a lot of their good ideas, a lot of the things that they felt like were working are just elements that they just kept repurposing. Almost becomes like a mantra, like, we are love. We are fighting for love. And if you believe in goodness in the world, then you should like our band. And if you don't like our band, that's because you're on the side of hate. So odd to me how they craft themselves without backing it up. And I do agree with David that music is solely unique opposed to TV or movies, where music has an emotional element to it that physically moves you internally. Quite literally, the tempo of a song can change your heartbeat. There's something so specific to how music interacts with our brains, our receptors, that we can either accept it or reject it solely based on just how a song comes in. It's so reactionary. It's so ingrained into us, what we like, what we don't like, that there's really no rhyme or reason to it. And any attempts to describe music criticism is really attempt to just intellectualize the emotional response that you're having to the sounds you're hearing. So in that way, I do feel like music is oddly specific and special. That things with a message, with meaning, paired with a sweeping large chorus, can move you emotionally in a way that is evocative of religion. This is why a lot of religions have hymns. This is why a lot of religions utilize song and rhythm in their rituals in order to make those mantras, to make that like just sound and melody that like lives within us. And I think the music being played has a really big part in that. There's a reason why like gospel and soul music can hit me even though I'm a godless little heathen. And there's a reason why songs that I don't really vibe with, I don't move to, can win me over if I feel like I'm being seen or heard, or if the singer is representing a perspective that does feel emotionally compelling to me. I don't know. I think there is something to be said about the shallowness in which Tom writes and performs, but also he is performing solely based on this musical swelling, because Blink-182 is all about the hooks and the catchy guitars and just like this energetic pacing to it. But if you look at Adam's song, if you look at Stay Together for the Kids, if you look at Down, these songs that are very kind of low key and slower, but then have this huge building chorus that just slams you like a brick wall, those songs tend to have a huge emotional impact on the audience because there is that contrast of emotions. There is that like overwhelming sense of like, here's the sadness we're giving you, and now here's the release. Here's your holiday. Here's the release of that music. I can understand how if your band is mostly playing lighthearted, light investment, punk songs, how the ones with the grand sweeping aspects to it, how those can feel like those are the songs that are more important. Those are the songs that are saying something. Stay Together for the Kids is about divorce, and that is connecting to a feeling that a lot of kids may feel lost or isolated when dealing with their parents not being together anymore. So I think there is something to be said there, and I can understand how Tom goes, shit, how do I recreate that on a bigger level, and how do I sustain that for an entire album? There's a reason why that first album is only 10 songs long. It's long as fuck. The album itself is a long record because the songs are long, but there are only 10 songs of material. And I'm curious, when you take out and stack them next to the lyrics of your average Blink album, just how much more writing Blink actually does just by the nature of those songs versus how many like words are being written. Like if I were to not hear any music from We Don't Need a Whisper, I see that half the lyrics are I-A-E-I-O's or la-la-la's or whoa-whoa-who's, that makes me think that they are relying on that to hold the songs together. I love the Misfits. The Misfits are one of my favorite musical acts to ever exist. But I can admit, when listening to the Misfits in succession, when listening to purely only Misfits in a playlist, it's exhausting with how many of the choruses just fall back onto let's sing something that is easy, catchy, and memorable for the audience so they can always join along, so they can always be a part of the music and a part of the movement, which is why I find when attending their concerts, Angels and Airwaves, when attending the concerts in which Tom would pull off, it would feel very emotional. I remember being 11, being 13, being, I don't know, all the way up to 18 years old, going to see Angels and Airwaves, and then crying, sobbing while singing their song. Not that the songs had a huge connection to me, not like I hear The War or I hear Start the Machine, or maybe a little's enough. A little's enough, like a little's enough gets me right there. Like a little bit of love, just a little bit of love is enough, baby. Like I just need a little bit of goodness from you. Those songs aren't very connected to me outside of that experience, but being there feels like a swelling. Being there feels like a collective. If you're in this audience, you are singing along and you have the same view and message and outlook and hope and aspirations and everything that comes along with what Tom is trying to put together. And those experiences make the music feel so much more powerful and so much more impactful than I honestly think that it is. And that is why when it comes to the records, the subsequent follow-ups to We Don't Need a Whisper, there is a severe diminishing of returns to the point where their newest album could come out to like the most mild, lukewarm reception with hardly anyone talking about it. I didn't even know Angels and Airwaves were still performing and putting out material. And as Tom has focused on other ventures, such as declassifying files on aliens to Congress, Tom's focusing on those sorts of things. It does feel like he just doesn't care anymore. Like the message, the meaning, it's gone for him. He still has a tight-knit cult. He still has a group of people that will die for him, that will literally buy the official Angels and Airwaves Funko Pops, that will spend $100 to pre-order a specially wrapped vinyl of an album that isn't out yet. There are still Angels and Airwaves fans who are so sycophantic that they will follow and believe anything Tom says. There are just people who just like want to give credit, people who want to give the benefit of the doubt to these musicians because they did create that emotional response. And if that emotional response is not true, then why do I like it? What do I like? How do I come to find something that is true? And I think that work to put in the effort to deconstruct your interest, to deconstruct your nostalgia, to pull off the rose-tinted glasses, I think that work is a barrier of entry into knowledge and emotional, mental maturity that most people have within them. I think a lot of people interact with music on a very shallow and artificial level because they've been told that music is just like to dance, and like mainstream music that is presented on, I guess, the radio. If there are radios anymore, all your friends come over, gather around the radio in the living room, and you dial it in and you're like, we're gonna hear a story, guys. Oh, aliens are attacking Orson Welles. Is this true? Is this happening? Oh my God. Oh, okay, that was a good rant. Good job, me. So powerful. So fucking powerful. Incredible last words. Are we done now? I said my piece. I feel sick now. Give me a second. Good job, Mark. Good job. I'm curious about this Mark Eaton fella. I feel like he doesn't really respect Tom all that much. Despite rumors, Tom is just a person, an interesting person that I'm constantly asking myself, why are you doing this? And I think this documentary, this video, was a very interesting insight into the man himself. And I sure have fun talking about a band, a musical act that I have fond memories and a huge connection to. And it's always good to recontextualize the history and the past. So thank you, everyone, for joining me, for making it this far. I hope to continue my journey through musical rock docs, and I don't know, we'll see what else we find, what other oddities and musical relics I can dig up. It's always a good time. I'm tired, I'm worn out, and I think it's time for me to ascend. It's time for me to grab onto my umbrella and ascend to the clouds above so I can join Tom above everyone else. And me and Tom, we can look down on the earth and we can say, you're welcome for the music. You're welcome. Oh, okay. I'm old marriage odds are calling, so it's time I get it going.